So what do you like better, 250 or 100?
That's interesting.
There's a kind of adventure you only find when you're not in a hurry. This is Road Adventures of Cycling Men of Leisure. Stories from the open road where routes are questionable, the stops are intentional, and leisure isn't a reward, it's the plan. If you're looking for speed, well, you're lost. But if you're looking for laid-back adventure, good stories, and even better company, welcome home.
Welcome to Road Adventures of Cycling Men of Leisure. I am Adam, and once again, I am lucky enough to be joined with my good friend after a long extended break, Mr. Michael Sharp. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, sir. And we do apologize. It has been an extra week and a half. We're a little late on this episode, but we hope it's worth it. It's been a little busy and chaotic and other things, but yeah. How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm good. I just got back from the Upper Peninsula, and in spirit of the show, guess where I was?
I'm going to guess another transportation conference.
Not a conference, but you're close. Very close. It's close enough. I mean, in the spirit of a contest, you would win. It was a meeting, but yes, I headed up north for a couple events. We went to lighthouses in Escanaba, Michigan. There was no moonlight, but okay, that's a joke for. But there was a sun in the morning, and went there for my association meeting and on the board that I reside. But I thought, boy, if Michael could see me now on another work trip, so.
It just seems way too complicated to keep. It's a bus. Bus A, go there. Bus B, go there. Okay.
This was more about funding the bus, making sure the bus had
stop taking so many trips, and guess what? You got funding.
Well, somebody's got to take them, buddy. Somebody has to take them. So
okay, fair enough.
And then I went on a whirlwind trip to my favorite state.
That would be Ohio. I know the answer to this question.
Yeah. I had to go there for a family wedding, which I'm happy to go. It was my I have a cousin who works for the Cleveland Clinic, and he is a cardiologist. Turns out on the cardiologist floor, met a beautiful young lady, and her name is Sarovi, and I would like to formally congratulate Ken and Sarovi on their marriage. They looked very happy. Although this is the second wedding I had to go to on a Sunday in 2026. So that stuff can stop because I don't know. Maybe they saved like $8 or something. I'm just kidding. But we were happy to be there and we appreciate the invite. But yeah, rolled in back at midnight. And so I thought about the Sharp family, as you guys always enjoy your road trips.
Yes.
I am a guy who normally says, get me to the Delta Sky Club, get me on the plane, and get me there. So
no, see, and that's the problem. You go from point A to point B, and then at point B, you start your vacation.
Mm-hmm.
You miss everything in between. I mean, you've never been to the Laurel and Hardy Museum. You've never been to a kazoo museum. You've never been to, I mean, you miss all of this truly American stuff that you would see along the way. You're kind of, when you take vacation, you're kind of anti-cycling men of leisure. It's not the destination.
Is this the kazoo museum voice?
Sure.
Actually, I thought that we both agreed, sorry to call you out here, but we both agreed to kind of transition from not only cycling, but all things leisure.
Well, that's not all things leisure. Because it's about getting to, it's about the journey along the way. And if you're just flying, I mean, I get it. I get it. Some people like to travel that way. I just feel you miss so much of the true America by not having, so to speak, boots on the ground and
Mhm.
being able to take in, roadside fruit stands and alligators crossing the road and, but that's okay. I don't
I've
hold
been
it
to a
against you.
golf course with you where there was alligators on the golf course.
We have been doing Yeah, it's probably the fastest hole we've ever played. Okay, yep, close enough.
And
Moving
sorry,
along.
but I flew there. So no, no, I understand. There are things I will admit. I mean, this year alone with work, I've traveled to places I've never been before, and it is nice to have some more culture and see some things that I haven't seen before. So, but yes, I did think. I'll tell you what, the Upper Peninsula, Michigan, at this time of the year is absolutely beautiful. So if you get a chance,
I bet.
on my way over across the bridge, not so beautiful. I could only see about 50 feet in front of the car. They had all kinds of flashing lights, and um, literally the fog was so heavy that I kept thinking, I sure hope the bridge is still there. But on my way back, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So the Mighty Mac, if you ever get a chance to cross the 5 mile Mackinac Bridge, please do. So
We've been under the
we have
5 Mile Mackinac Bridge before, you and I going to Mackinac Island on a bicycle ride. So very cool.
right there on the line between the two Great Lakes. I mean, we saw the Okay, well, we didn't see a line, but they told us that
There's a line right there underneath the bridge,
Yeah.
separating one Great Lake from the other Great Lake. Same water, but imaginary line.
That's right. That's right. What about you, sir? How is the Sharp family? How have you been? Hopefully you've been well.
Been well. Been busy. Good and the bad. We had some more tragedy in the family. We're not going to get into that because that's going to bring this episode down. But we did have a party last week for Max and his graduation from junior college. So that was fun.
All right. All right.
So things are going pretty good here. If we could just go a day without it torrential downpouring, but other than that, it's okay.
If you don't mind, I would like to tell you a weather story.
I don't mind.
My wife has recently really started to enjoy this meteorologist who is on YouTube, Max somebody. I can't think of it. The story would be better if I could remember. But anyways, I will come up with it.
Velocity?
Yes, Max Velocity. Thank you so much. And every time she's watching, I'm looking at Lawrence, Kansas. I'm looking at Paola. I'm looking at all these towns that you have taken me to. But you know the problem with that, right?
Yeah, because you're looking at those towns because there's storms in those towns.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, my buddy Michael. Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. There's a tornado headed to his house. Yeah, your towns or towns nearby do not get highlighted on a weather channel unless there's something bad happening.
And they got these people who like pull out their cell phones or maybe GoPros or whatever those new action cameras are, whatever, those Osmodo or whatever. Hope I'm saying Osmo or whatever. I look up on the TV or the YouTube channel and I'm like, hey, what was that? Something flying by. So
that's a cow.
And then my cousin, who also came to the wedding, you know him. He's supports Cycling Men of Leisure.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He was on a train from LA to he took the train to Elyria, Ohio, which is one town over from where the wedding was, and he's a big train guy, loves to travel by train. He was supposed to change trains in Kansas City. Little to my education, I guess Kansas City is a big train hub. And
it's like a central hub where things fork off. Yeah.
Yeah. And he was supposed to change there, but you all had a train derailment and he was unable to change trains, but he still made the wedding because Amtrak actually called him, maybe they text him and said, please don't change this train. Stay on this train so you make your destination. So that's pretty cool.
Do not get off this train.
Yeah. This train's going nowhere. No, just kidding. So it's good to see him. He has definitely had some Cycling Men of Leisure swag out in the LA area, and he's taken
Love
some
it.
photos, so we appreciate that. So, well, listen, we got two things to talk about before we move forward. I was requested instead of the normal listener spotlight, I was told and requested and asked if I would do something a little bit different, maybe a little jingle. And so you and I worked a pretty long time, and we've got something cool. But
Let me
we
tell you,
also
putting together a jazz band to perform a jingle is not an easy feat. I'm just saying.
I couldn't believe the writer that we had to sign. They wanted 4 cases of water and 2 cases of hot Gatorade. Who drinks hot Gatorade? Is that
And
for their
what's
voice?
with just the blue M&Ms? No other color, just wanted blue M&Ms. Just he's a weird guy. But
Yeah, that was weird. So, do we did have a guess for listener spotlight, and so before we jump into the main meat and potatoes, should we hear the jingle and then let you give the towns and then I give
Yes.
the guess?
Let's do it. Absolutely.
here-
Let's hear the new jingle.
Here we go. Here it comes. After 100 episodes, we're still human.
Yeah, we make an occasional mistake.
We actually received fan mail, listener spotlight guess, which was the sole reason to make the jingle.
Mm-hmm. Yep. The guy who said we should change it up.
And we totally did not record him in the episode, but we're fixing it now in post-production.
That's right.
All right, here we go. Without further ado, here's a gentleman from Central Time.
Hey, this is Paul from Columbia, Missouri. Here's Central Time Zone, best time zone. Just wanted to throw out 2 things. Number one, I love the listener spotlight bit, but if we're going to do it every week, can we get a better sounder for it? Maybe like a song, something with a zany sounder, something like that, more than just Adam going, this is listener spotlight. Also, the listener spotlight this week was a toss. It was a total joke in that it was Omaha, Nebraska. That's right, Omaha, Nebraska. Obviously paying attention to the history of where we get sent for our transportation conferences. So I'm just going to say that again. Omaha, Nebraska, listener spotlight. Final answer.
Thank you so much, Paul, for using the fan mail. Without further ado, let's get back to the show.
Absolutely.
You're clipped in and you're dialed in. You ride along with us every spin. Side to side. It's your moment now. Listener spotlight. Take a bow.
So I hope the
Wow.
community likes it. It's kind of grows on you, man. I mean, it grows on you.
Yeah, it's jazzy and really cool, and maybe that 2 cases of hot Gatorade really did the trick. I like it. It's catchy. I mean, yours was great, but we've moved beyond that, I think.
Yeah, after 100 listener spotlights, now we have a fancy clip. So,
Well, it's not been 100 listener spotlights because we
That's
didn't
true.
start listener spotlight until a little bit in, but we
This
get
is true.
we get the drift. But anyway,
yes, sir.
the clues for the listener spotlight are as follows. This town started over lunch. The community gave rise to a very unique Boy Scout distinction. It found a good use for Russian dressing. An invention from this town changed TV viewing habits forever. And what else we got here? In this town, you don't have to be outdoors to enjoy the rain.
Well, our good friend Armando, he says, "Good morning, boys. Here's an answer to the latest listener spotlight. As a former Ivory Soap user, I am 99 and 44/100% my guess is correct. The remaining 0.56% is Radburn in my home state of New Jersey. So the answer is Omaha, Nebraska. Omaha! I tell you, you can't go to Omaha or stay in Omaha without thinking about Peyton Manning. But anyways, Omaha, Nebraska. Reportedly, the founders of the finalized the city's plans over lunch in Council Bluffs. Exceptionally high concentration of Eagle Scouts. Ruben Kolofsky is widely accepted as the inventor of the sandwich of the Omaha Swanson TV dinners. Started there was Malcolm X as the Omaha native. The local zoo has a rainforest exhibit. I was also influenced towards Omaha for two reasons. Adam's recent boondoggy disguised as a conference there, and the last tent that you had both been to that city. It's a great day for a bike ride tomorrow. It's late and hot today.
Okay. Thank you for your guess, and you are 100% correct. Omaha, Nebraska. And actually, there was one that I forgot. I said the spot was marked by X. But the other clue that wasn't really listed here was the fact that you had just recently visited there. But I'll tell you how it broke down. The city was informally established on July 4th of 1854 at a picnic on Capitol Hill, not Council Bluffs. Council Bluffs across the river, but Capitol Hill. It gave rise to a unique Boy Scout distinction. I don't know whether Armando is correct there, but I will tell you it is the birthplace of Gerald Ford, the 38th president, who has been the only president who was an Eagle Scout. So that's... It found a good use for Russian dressing. 1925, the classic Reuben sandwich was invented at the Blackstone Hotel. An invention from this town changed TV viewing habits forever. Carl Swanson in 1927 invented what we know today as the TV dinner. In this town, you don't have to be outdoors to enjoy the rain, and that's reference to the Henry Doyley's huge indoor rainforest. And then this spot was marked by X. That's reference to the fact that Malcolm X was, in fact, born in Omaha, Nebraska.
Well,
so there you have it.
I actually went to the zoo when I was there.
And I actually lived for a year in Omaha, Nebraska. Oh, it's a great town. Love it.
Well, we were supposed to get together, but I screwed that up.
Yeah, that's okay.
But, well, all right. Not diminishing that we weren't able to get together. I'm not, but I think we have something big to talk about.
What is that?
100 episodes, podcast.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Can you believe we have done 100 episodes? I mean, it's just insane.
That is amazing.
Oh, Maya, we're in the middle of recording a show. Say hi to Adam. We'll just have to cut this part out.
Hey, Maya. How are you?
What are we doing today? We are doing the 100th episode. Can you believe it? We've had 100 podcasts. And we're recording the 100th episode. So we thought for this one, it would be fun if maybe we came up with some questions. Hopefully you've came up with some, or AI can come up with some questions that maybe listeners would be interested in knowing about. So that's, I think, what we're going to do. So did you need something important?
Well, I have some questions. Can I ask you guys?
Can she ask us questions?
Of course.
Now, is this relevant to the show, or is this just questions about the universe or whatever?
Dad, can I have some money?
Yeah. Is this? Yeah. Dad, you got $20?
Yeah.
Wait and find out. What do you say, Adam? Should we?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Let's let me set up another mic over here. Get things. Pull over this chair, and I think I can push this out far enough that we can both get within my camera.
But I think while you guys are setting up, I actually can kill some airtime. I think it's important to mention that ladies and gentlemen, Miss Miya Sharp has been on the show before. If we will actually, now that this is her second show that she's going to be on, we have to make a page for her on the website. We'll do that, and then she can be a contributor. If you would like to know about Confetti is a Thai beanie baby that Michael Sharp
right there.
Oh, I see
He is
him
right there.
I see him. he has made, if not all, most of 99% of our adventures.
Mhm.
And of course, there's lots of photographs. And I would imagine one day when Maya decides that she's ready to move on in life and maybe at a wedding or some magical moment in life, whenever that is, that she will receive a wonderful memory book of all the big moments that Confetti spends. But there's a show out there, and I have to give Maya a little credit. We recorded in your garage.
We did
Episode
early
like-
on.
I was going to say like episode like 4 or 12 or 9 or 10 or something like that.
Somewhere in there.
And we set up in your garage right there in the central time zone. One take. Ladies and gentlemen, I promise you, one take. And she was a natural. So when you say, can I ask you questions? I already know you can do it. So
I appreciate your faith in me.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen,
Absolutely.
for our 100th episode, Maya will apparently put together some questions, and will be asking us questions that Adam and I do not know what she's asking. So this is going to make it even more fun. We have not in any way, shape, or form know what question she's going to ask. So take it away, young lady.
Okay. What made you guys
Here.
want
There you go. Try that.
Okay. What made you guys want to start a podcast?
you want me to take this one?
Yeah.
So I am a big podcast person. I love to listen to podcasts. Most of them are crime ridden of people who unfortunately did not make it out of the situation. And then there's a 60 or 120 minute episode. I enjoy when I'm working out to listen to podcasts. And then I started going down a wormhole of other subjects such as electronics or projects or whatever. I mean, anything from making, how to make your batteries work better in the winter for your drills and bring them inside. And I started to think to myself, your dad and I have some pretty cool stories from the road, people we met along the way. And I called your dad and I said, "Are you sitting down?" And he said, I actually am sitting down. And he said, "Why? What do you got going on?" And I said, "I've got an idea." And he said, "All right." And I said, "What do you think about starting a podcast?" And he said, "What will we talk about?" And the answer was our stories and everything. And I said, "Great." And I think the answer to your question would be is what made us want to start a podcast is I think that with our personality and the people that we've met, that we thought we have something enough to talk about that we could start a show. But I'll be honest with you, and I'd love to get your dad's answer too. I never thought it would be like this. I never thought it would grow to what it is today. So I hope that's a good answer. So.
Totally agree. I would have never guessed that it would be what it is today. I certainly never thought we were going to be sitting here with, recording episode number 100. Yeah, it was just one of those things that the story is 100% true. He said we should do it. And I was like, well, we don't know anything about it, but we can figure it out. And so it all came about because this guy got tired of listening to crime podcasts, I guess. So, but no.
Okay. What was your guys' original vision for the podcast, and is it much different from what you guys do today?
You want to take that one?
Yeah. I think when we started, the original vision was we were going to just tell travel stories about adventure stories, things that we had done, because we have been on a lot of rides and things like that. And it really revolved around cycling. And so that was kind of the original intent, was it was going to be about our stories. And then some ladies got a little upset that we had been cycling men of leisure. And the whole point was it was supposed to be about us, cycling men of leisure's adventures. And then the ladies said, well, what about the women? So then we started cycling women of leisure. So it started out just our stories. Now, what it's evolved into is we still do cycling. Cycling's important to us and that kind of thing. But we've branched out. We do a little bit more leisure stuff now, as opposed to not just be everything about cycling. We do more in the leisure side. And what we never saw coming, or we never designed or anything like that, was the fact that we have in fact created a community out of this whole thing. That was never our intent. That just came out of what we were doing. And both Adam and I never intended that. It's awesome. We love it. But that was never our intent.
The only thing I would add to that is, like, you made a joke one time, and what I say here today is 1,000% true. You made a joke, Michael. You said, wouldn't it be cool one day if someone was like wearing after we had designed the logo, the original logo, the one with just the Otis and the Cycling Men of Leisure.
Mary. Yeah.
And you said, wouldn't it be cool one day if someone was wearing our t-shirt? And I remember the first time that somebody besides you and I, because you and I had made many and we would travel with them for family, friends and stuff. The first time that a non-family member wore one of the t-shirts, I'm like, it just brought a smile to my face, because that's where, to me, piggybacking off of your story, that's where I knew it was a community where someone would actually, I don't think you wear a shirt of somebody that you wouldn't support or something. And so I think that was definitely, for me, where that's the only thing I really have to add to your story. So your answer. So.
Yep.
Okay. A little bit of a fun one. If your bicycles could talk, what would they complain about the most?
Mine would be that I let it fall over so many times.
Wow. That's a good question. Well, I think honestly, your bike would be like, man, this guy takes far too many pictures of me. But he's got an unhealthy relationship with his bike and photography. But what would my bike complain about? I think, yeah, well, that's the bike's fault, not mine. I think the biggest thing my bike would complain about is that I blame my bicycle sometimes. Man, this hill would be better if this bicycle was faster. So I think my bicycle would be a little ticked off at me that I put the blame for me being out of shape, or me not being conditioned, or me not be able to get up a hill quick enough. Me blaming it.
So your lack of self-accountability?
Well, now this is not a show about psychology or anything. No. Where's that beeper button when we need it? Come on.
Oh, I can give her the.
Well, too late now.
Going for you, not your daughter. I mean, gosh.
See, this is what I deal with. She's like psychoanalyzing me now. So interesting. But no, I would say that's what my bike would say.
Okay.
And if anyone doesn't know the bike fall over story, I swear we like lay the bikes or lean the bikes up towards fences or walls or brick walls that shouldn't move. And I come back over and I'm like, how is my bike laying over? So
Adam hasn't figured out angles. You got to have it at a certain angle for it to work. But we'll work with him.
Man.
Okay. Which storier gets funny every time it's told?
Central Time. Eastern Time, Central Time. And in the beginning, I don't think people ever, I mean, that's my answer. I don't know what your answer would be, but the Eastern Central Time, because even the community jumps in and like when they answer Listener Spotlight, they'll be like, hey, it's Scott Garwick from Central Time here, and I'm blah, blah, blah. Or, or if I see someone in public, they're like, well, yeah, they're from Central Time. And I think that for me is one that just kind of just keeps adding the longer it goes on. So
I'm gonna have to say the stupid DeBrim. that
the censor button does work. I'm just kidding.
That has became not just you and I's joke. I mean, we run into other people who've ridden on our team and friends of ours who actually do wear the DeBrims and things like that. And you guys will all just gang up on me going, oh, there's 3 DeBrim wearers. What's wrong with Michael here? Which one of these is not like the other type thing? So I think the DeBrim joke certainly has went on for a long time and has certainly more people have partaked.
Well, in honor of you, I can get you some DeBrim Post-it notes.
I'm quite fine, thank you. Thank you.
Wow. Okay.
What about a DeBrim pen?
I'm good.
Okay.
Moving on.
I think you like the brims. What is the weirdest thing you have encountered on a ride?
Weirdest thing.
Weirdest thing. Well,
Ooh.
do you have an answer for that?
No, I don't know. I'm thinking.
I've got a couple things that pop into my mind immediately. The Adam rode over a snake once.
Oh yeah.
That was pretty crazy. But the weirdest thing I think that I've encountered, and you weren't there, is when years ago I was riding with my dad and others at the bike ride across Nebraska, and literally in the morning a deer came out on the road, and there were 6 of us riders, and he got right in the middle of us, and he was like, "Whoa, what's going on?" And he's like literally galloping, running, whatever deer do, down the middle between 3 on this side, 3 on that side, and everybody riding is just praying that he's not going to decide to go left or right and just make a bolt for it. But he kept his lane, and we gradually just all slowed down, and he picked up the speed and then went out. So that was a weird thing. And then the ball pin hammer thing was awesome too. But when you rode over that snake, remember that?
Oh God, yeah.
Big old long snake zipped right in front of him. He got right between both your tires, and you went over him with the back tire.
Yeah.
And he was strong enough it didn't hurt him. He kept going. But if he would have like angled or something, he could have toppled you.
Almost like, no, and I don't mean this to be funny, but like your hose.
Yeah, exactly. I knew you were going with it.
I think maybe one of the weirdest things is maybe that woman in Iowa that thought that we were going to hurt her horses.
Oh yeah.
So the backstory is in RAGBRAI, if anyone's never done a long state line ride or something like that, we were with a charter, and we learned from Katie, from Karst. No, what city was Katie from? Carroll. Katie from Carroll, Iowa. That there's a big, massive book, like literally like a binder of how to RAGBRAI, like how it comes into town and
how to host and the host city's responsibilities and how it works.
Thank you. Yeah, exactly. And one of it is where they're going to put all the charters. And so to give you an idea, the charter that we were with was out on a golf course, or next to a golf course, in like this green space area. And the sidebar is I had just began dating Lauren, and of course I was on the phone the whole week, like, oh, I'm okay, I rode today and I'm fine. 10 years later we're married, so that's good. So I'm willing to admit that before your dad tries to throw me under the bus, I figure I'll just go ahead and step in front of the bumper first. But while we were in this property across the road, we weren't even going over there, were these horses that were fenced in, and this lady came out and said, "You all stay away from our horses and don't touch our horses." It would be like your neighbor, like across the road from you at your house there, coming outside and saying, "Don't pet my dog," and you're like, "I wasn't even going to come near your dog." So,
and it was the other side of the road and on down just a little bit, so it wasn't like, it would have taken effort for people to walk over there, because their horses weren't even out front. They were in the back. And I'm just like, why would this lady think we want anything to do with her horses? But she was very insistent and very upset. I think she was just angry that RAGBRAI was in her town or whatever, but no one messed with her horses. It was all fine. Yeah, she was an odd one.
I think that might be that might be one of the weirdest things that I can think of right now, at least. So.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What is the exact moment Cycling Men of Leisure was born?
Oh, I think your dad and I are 100% agreeable on this. We were in Hazelhurst, Georgia,
Mhm.
and we went to Bragg has a concert. Franklin Johnson, who is now a friend of the show, and I have an announcement. He is now a subscriber of the show. We'll get to that a little bit later, but he is a friend of the show, and this was before we had been podcasting with Bragg. We went to Bragg
This
on
was
our
our
own.
first year.
First
Bragg.
year, we went to Iowa and we saw the big red tent and we wanted to expand on another ride, and so Georgia became the list, and so we went to Bragg. One of the things that Franklin used to do in his career is he put on music festivals, and so he had a band, and from my memory, that band was really good that night.
They were.
And we actually got to ride on the Bragg bus, and they took us over. We weren't even going to go. If you remember, we were going to be honest, we had cigars and bourbon, and we were just going to go somewhere and have a cigar and a bourbon because we were staying out of school. And we knew that the laws are you can't have tobacco product on or alcohol for that matter on school property. So we were going to take a walkabout somewhere, be respectful. And when we were there, the Bragg bus was there. They're like, "Come on, jump on the bus, come with us." And so we're like, "Okay, well, why not? We'll jump somewhere. We're going somewhere." So we jump on the bus and we go to this golf course. In the back of this golf course, there's like picnic tables.
Club.
A country
club. Let's not.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, correct. You're right. So we sit down and we're at a picnic table. We open up your dad's Milwaukee pack out box that he has converted into a whiskey carrier. For those of you who don't know, Maya probably knows more about whiskey than most people that I know. So I appreciate that about you. Don't let your teacher hear that. I know it's summertime, but don't use that as extra credit for class. But yes, she's been to many distilleries with her father, and even has come to him and said, "Well, Dad, that actually distillery was born in this year, and I love it. So thank you." But so we were in the back of this country club, and we were at a picnic table. We open up the Milwaukee pack out, and we have whiskey. We brought cups, and we brought a little mini decanter. We cut off the ends of the cigars, and there we were enjoying a cigar. And I have the photograph, which is on the website to prove it. And some people walked by, and the answer to your question is, they said, "You guys are living the life of leisure." And we said, "Well, yeah, isn't that the point?" That's where the seed was planted into the pot, so to speak.
Yep.
But where the fertilizer came about is almost the exact same thing happened to us 1 month or maybe 6 weeks later in Iowa.
Mhm.
So there we had kind of said, well, we got something here. Maybe we should do a Facebook page. Maybe we should do something. We weren't 100% sure. We get to Iowa for RAGBRAI that year. We had been lucky enough to do BRAG and RAGBRAI that year. We were at the same thing. We're at a camp out. We're sitting at this park. And I remember that somebody had some stag, and they brought the stag out, and then we had some Woodford, and we were all kind of sharing some stuff. And once again, the phrase was, "Man, you guys are really having the life of leisure." Within an hour and a half, Maya, I want to believe that we had a website. We had the paperwork filing for an LLC. I think that we had the Facebook page. We just had the creative spark. And I want to say within a couple hours.
Well, we didn't have a website, but we had reserved the
domain.
URL, the
Yeah.
domain, and
Yeah.
all that. Yeah, because we sit there and it's like, oh, this is good. This is really good. We don't want anybody to steal this idea. And
Yep.
so literally, there's a half a dozen people here doing the same thing we are. And we literally, from that campsite, got everything buttoned up. So
Y'all were quick.
yeah, and this was in 2016?
2016, yeah. No,
2019.
Yeah. Yeah, later on. But if
Yeah.
you remember that couch that was on the back of that tractor when you and I were trying to
Yeah.
get all this stuff together, and the couch was spinning with
Spinning
people
around.
on it. Yeah.
Cheap carnival rides in Georgia or
So
Iowa.
then, so then the only thing I'd like to add to that story, just to make sure that if anyone is not sure of the origin, is Michael he alluded to it earlier. So we had Cycling Men of Leisure, the website's growing, everything's going, and some of our close friends and family were really frustrated that it wasn't having anything to do with women. Now, both of us were married men. Obviously, you have a family over there. My wife and I have cats, and so we weren't ever anti women ever. As a matter of fact, if anyone's ever met us, they would know that that's just the opposite. We actually go above and beyond to be, a community. But at the time, there were some very disparaging comments being made, and so we made the difficult decision of how to move forward. And we then hired the guy who did the logo to do the ladies' logo. And once the logo was done, we wanted to be prepared. Then we introduced Cycling Women of Leisure, and then we also kind of put some spin on our male logo. Of course, the original idea was our stories from the road. We do actually have M on our licenses for male. It was supposed to be ours, but then what's funny is as you go a few years into it, I know that having both has definitely been a welcoming. It was definitely a good move to do. But at the time, we were both very hurt that people didn't. I mean, they were insulting us without even getting to meet us, and that was definitely difficult. So, but that is the origin of the Cycling Men of Leisure and how it all started, and it's a fun story to tell because that's the part of what the podcast is about. So telling our road stories.
Okay, what was your favorite episode?
Oh boy.
I can take this while you think.
Okay.
I don't know if I have one episode that's my favorite episode. There's been many segments that I've thought those are really good. I like those. But I would say that our annual leisure cycling Christmas wish list is a big favorite of mine. And that seems to be a fan favorite. And I also like our Halloween episodes. We tend to try to do, like last year, we tried to do a special episode for Halloween. Last year we did bicycle ghost stories. Remember the story about what Carl the ghost or whatever, and out in the woods or whatever with his red Huffy, and so those are good episodes that I really enjoy doing. Like I said, we've had some other good episodes. I think a lot of our episodes after rides have been really, really some of my favorites. How about you?
Season 2, episode 6.
He just totally made that up.
No. Actually, I cheated. While we were looking, while you were talking, I cheated.
So what is
it was the first
2
time that we It was the first time that we had the executive director of Bicycle Ride Across Georgia, Franklin Johnson. That was a fun episode. Only because I have my phone here and I am definitely cheating. I want to say the first time I felt like a mini celebrity or like I had credentials, if you will, was when we did Matt Phippen interview. She's since left, but Annie was there, and she's moved on from the RAGBRAI family. But she came over to us and she gave us like this, okay, this is what you do, and this is where you go, and you got to be here at this time. And I think must have been on cloud 9. We thought, oh my gosh, we're getting the director of RAGBRAI. This is going to be so cool. So I think go
ahead. Sorry.
I think from a perspective of having like a big memory, that was definitely one of them for sure.
Yeah, because we had went down for the route announcement party in January. And we had been talking to him and said, hey, we'd like to get him on the show. And then she tracked us down and they invited us over to like their offices.
Yep.
And we recorded it right there on the premises with them, which was that was a good show.
Okay.
What about the Confetti experience?
That was a good show too. Yes, I did like that show. And that was the first show that Maya was on there, and I thought she did a great job. But I didn't want to use that one because that made me sound kind of like, I don't know.
No, I hope you know. I was just about to say, wow, I noticed how nobody even mentioned mine.
Confetti was a really good one.
Yeah, no, actually, I was really impressed. I mean, I remember even getting on the plane because I was at your place and I'm not driving home. I actually did drive out to your place once, just to be clear. But um, that time I know I flew home, and I remember saying to my wife, I said, "She's a natural." So yes, it was actually. Can you believe that was 3 years ago?
No, not really, but it's crazy.
Uh, the last episode I'd like to mention was the one with Maria Parker. I can't find what number it is, but Maria Parker, her and her husband are own cruise bike CEO, maybe do a partnership. But Maria Parker was more than just a bike owner interview. It was, all the records that she has broken, and the type of cycling that she does, the kind of athlete that she was. It was a wonderful interview. So I think that was one of my favorite as well. So.
That's a good one.
All right.
Nice. How did the Speakeasy tradition begin?
Well,
I know this one.
I'm gonna take this one. I want to start it off and then I'll hand it over to you. So your dad and your mom used to really enjoy Cooper's Hawk Winery, and I had visited your house, and your dad said, "I've got a couple errands to run if you don't mind." And I said, "No, I'd love to explore. Let's go see some things." And I saw that big shuttlecock in the lawn of the museum,
Nelson Atkins Art Museum, yeah.
And anyways, we were driving there, and he said, "I have to run in here real quick," and I okay, and we walk into this winery. And I was kind of impressed. I'd never been to a Cooper's Hawk before. And I said, "Wow, this place is beautiful." And your dad kept looking at me. He's like, you don't have one of these by you?" I'm like, "We might. I don't know. I mean, there could be one." Turns out there is, but I've never been to it. But and I said, "No, but this place is nice." He goes, "Yeah." They have dinner here, and we're part of the membership. And I said, "Well, okay." And then the whole time in my head, I'm thinking to myself, "Well, have you ever had any whiskey?" And your dad goes, and I'm not insulting him by any means, but he goes, "Do you mean like the stuff that'll cause you to have like fire water and stuff?" And I said, "Oh man," I said, you used to be a history teacher. You would love some of the history." And I think for me, that's how the seed was planted. Would you?
That's how the seed was planted, how I got into bourbon and whiskey. But if we look at the Speakeasy itself, the history of that started when we were in Iowa. I had brought my Milwaukee pack out that we previously mentioned with a bottle of Woodford's in. I think it was day 3 or 4.
And the cork broke.
So when I opened it up, it's like I smelled whiskey because whiskey was leaking out. And I was like, "Oh, this isn't good." And so it's like, well, we could either just let this like slowly dribble out, or we could go find some people to share it with. And so we used a charter. So we went over to the general charter area, and we were like, we had some glasses, we had some ice, we sat down and we started drinking, and there were some other people there. It's like, "Anybody want a little whiskey?" And a couple of people were like, "Yeah." And other people were like, "No." And we started pouring, and then other people came, and I don't know, we probably had a dozen people there that we were sitting around sharing the bottle with. And that's how the Speakeasy really got going.
True.
So to answer
But the
your
story would have
Speakeasy
been
question,
different if you liked wine, because then you would have passed out wine to everybody.
well, there's certain people that would really, really appreciate that. I believe Armando is a big wine guy. But,
Armando would like that. That's for sure. So.
but so that's how I got into the whiskey thing, and the whiskey, the Speakeasy idea came out of, we didn't want to waste a bottle of whiskey. So we went and shared it. And then it just got to be the thing. It's like, well, let's just bring some to share with everybody because that helps build community and friendship and camaraderie. And so that's how it got going.
Absolutely.
Nice. What has been the biggest travel disaster?
Your dad almost didn't make it home for his anniversary with his wife. And we really thought he was not going to get home for like a couple of days. That's the first thing that comes to mind.
Yeah, first thing, and that was in, I believe, Savannah, Georgia.
Yep.
We were finished up the ride. We had stayed at like a Hilton or Holiday or whatever. I think it was a Hilton, and they had a ride to the airport. Great. They were going to leave, get us there in plenty of time. Well, apparently the guy that drives the shuttle, these darn transportation people, was moonlighting as a taxi cab driver because he was like 45 minutes late. He drives up in a taxi cab, parks it to the side, and then steps out and walks over there and goes, all right, I'm ready to take you guys to the airport. What was funny is we had the flight crew was with us, and they were like, oh, yeah, it shouldn't be a problem. It shouldn't be a problem. We wound up getting to the airport at like 29 minutes till. So we were under like the 30-minute mark, which apparently is a rule that you can't put anybody on a plane within 30 minutes if it's departure. And so we were both stuck because this driver guy from the airport was working two jobs. Adam, of course, he's Adam Baranski. So he just goes, excuse me, I'm Adam Baranski. And they're like, oh, we're sorry. Let's get you in first class right away, sir. And so they got him on the plane immediately. And then I was like, well, I'm Michael Sharp. And they're like, yeah, go sit over there. We'll see if we can get you out sometime today. And so then I'm going, oh, gosh. And I'm looking at car rentals. Could I drive from Savannah to Atlanta and then hit a plane in Atlanta? And just there was no good options coming up that was going to get me home that day. And I was like, oh, boy, this is not going to be good. Right at the last minute before they closed the gate, they called me up and they said, we've found you a seat all the way in the back. And I walked in, and of course, there's Adam in first class having a whiskey. And as they shuffle me past and say, sir, keep moving, you're back there in the cattle car. But at that point in time, I didn't care. I was happy to be on an airplane. But it looked pretty bleak there for both of us for like a second. And then once they found out who you were, it was just looking really bleak for me.
Oh, Mr. Baranski, please sit here. Can we get you anything? I'm going to rub your feet. I actually really felt bad because at first we were looking at connections. And by the way, you did not make the second connection. I think you got home like at midnight. It was late that night, if I remember correctly. And we were like, okay. But luckily we made the ride. The ride was good. And we were sold a fake set of goods, if you will, because the pilot said, don't worry, the plane's not leaving without me. It's not going to leave without you. And so we're like, okay, we're okay. And then we got over there and the TSA agent is like tearing apart our bikes. It just became worse. We knew they weren't putting the bikes back together in the boxes. And we were like, oh my gosh, this is getting worse. And then we were in the gate area, and I really felt bad for your dad because it was like, the year before we had been like, happy anniversary, Chas, from a restaurant and sent our videos. And this time it was like, he's going to have to do the same thing. So it's going to sound like this. Happy anniversary, Chas. I'm in a hotel somewhere in the middle of America. So, but you made it home. And I think that's the worst that we've had travel.
Yeah, I think that is probably the worst. I mean, we've had some bus problems, getting us to the ride, things like that. But that was definitely the worst one.
The 9-hour bus brought us good friends. So
it did. It worked out well.
Yep.
What one word would describe the podcast?
Chaos. No, I'm just kidding. One word. Wow. One word.
I think I would say there's a lot of one words that could describe this. Some of them are good or some of them are bad. I think the one word that I would describe the podcast, it may be great sometimes, it may be awful sometimes, but the one thing that it is always consistently, and we have worked very hard to keep it that way, is honest. You know, we don't put on facades. We don't put on like our acting hats and it's like, oh, I'm this different personality or whatever. The discussions that we have are very honest. There's only a couple subjects that we've agreed to that we never go down those lines. Other than that, I think we have very honest conversations. We don't really sugarcoat things if it doesn't need it. And so I'm going to go with honest.
I don't think I can beat that. I think I'm going to agree with you. I mean, that's the one thing where somebody does talk about the show and you know, it says, does Michael really tell you the listener spotlights ahead of time? Nope. I have put in guesses and then said, am I anywhere close? And you've said, no, you're not close, or you're close, but I'm not telling you until we record. There have been, you know, you can't be friends with someone for as long as we've been friends. There's been a few frustrating moments, but you know, I think this also gives us a chance to hang out and then and see each other. But yeah, even when we were done, just to be honest, I'm just going to be very truthful. When we did Shoreline, you know, we were very concerned because we were torn between an honest review, because there were some things that didn't go well in that ride. It could have went better per se. And we were very torn because, you know, we had received some things because we were the cycling men of leisure to go on the ride, and we would sit back at camp and go, gosh, I mean, how are we going to be on the show? We can't not do what we've always done, which is being truthful and honest. And so I think I don't think I have anything else to say besides, I think you're absolutely right. That's a great word.
Yep.
What is the greatest cycling men of leisure moment ever?
Oh boy.
Oh, this is easy. I totally got this one. Do you want to go first?
Ever. Can I talk out loud without like, because like that guy who came up to us during the RAGBRAI announcement party and said, I love your show, it means the world to me, and it really helped me like pack my bike. That kind of stuff is really great, but I don't think that's the best thing ever.
No, I know what the best thing ever is. Undisputably the best cycling men of leisure moment ever was when I crushed you on the go-kart ring. Crushed you. That was truly a cycling man of leisure moment. Crushed it. I crushed him on there. You disagree? Okay, so maybe it was my greatest moment, not ours.
I thought the question was cycling man of leisure moment, but okay.
I thought you enjoyed it as much
your
as I
dad live
did.
with that one.
I'm going to say
43 members.
Go ahead.
Okay, you go ahead.
I'm going to say, and I think
I'm going to say 40.
Going along the same line that you're going is when we got off the bus 2 years ago at BRAG.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like rock star moment, literally. We got off the bus and everybody's like, hey, it's Adam and Michael and all this stuff. And I mean, you know, it was just a crazy moment that so many people were like pointing us out and say, hey, and they were coming up and they were talking to us and shaking our hands and saying, hey, good to see you. And that, which was the year that I think we had maybe the year that we had the 43 members, but I think that was a huge moment when we got off the bus and everybody's like, hey, they're coming up and it's like, hey, how's it going? And they knew who we were and all that kind of thing. It was pretty surreal, actually.
At Oglethorpe University. That was awesome.
Yes. So yeah.
Perfect.
And me crushing him on go-kart.
Wow.
She just shakes her head at me.
Adam, if it makes you feel any better,
Somebody
he
lives
constantly
in
loses
La La Land.
Say what?
I said if it makes you feel any better, he constantly loses to me and Clue.
She cheats.
Oh,
I don't cheat.
Next question.
it was Professor Plum
Colonel Mustard
with
in the
the piano.
conservatory with the wrench.
Which episode went completely off the rails?
I think the list would be shorter if we said which episode did not go off the rails.
Yeah.
What
You know,
really?
I could give a weird answer to that. I mean, Maya, we have done episodes where I sit here and I go, well, that was a dog turd. And then they had like the most amazing outreach. I mean, just we threw it together because we were running out of time, and we're like, oh my gosh. And then people would, I mean, both of us in our personal lives would be like, oh, that's great. You guys must have done, oh, how did you work so hard on that? We were like, well, actually, we just kind of threw it together. And then we've had episodes where we put a lot of time into, a lot of research. As a matter of fact, we recorded one episode 12 times.
Yeah, in the early days, trying to get it 100% right. Yeah.
Which episode went off the rails? What about the 50th episode? The 50th, I mean,
You have to be more specific than that.
the one that celebrated 50 episode, 50.
What went off the rails?
I think we had a debacle. We thought it recorded, and then we had to spend a lot of time editing to get it to go because of a technical issue.
Well, we've had a lot of, I wouldn't say a lot, but we've had a few technical issues that have really messed us up. As far as off the rails, if you're talking like we were going down one way and it completely took a right turn and went another way. Because we keep everything so loose, I don't think we've really had one as far as from topic. No, we've had segments where the topic has went completely out into left field. I mean, Adam was telling us about, alien UFOs that he'd seen in his backyard, not in his backyard, from his backyard. I don't want to make you sound like a complete nutcase or anything.
What do you mean?
But we've got into some weird discussions, but I don't think any of them have ever, we've never had like interviewed somebody and it's like, yeah, we brought you on to interview this. And then it just like, they start talking about something else and that kind of thing. I don't think.
There was that one guy, all kidding aside, we wanted to talk about cycling and he wanted to talk about movies that he had.
Oh. Yes, he wanted to talk about movies that were, one of them was cycling movie that was shot near him and stuff. It's like, we're talking about cycling and he just kept going down this movie rabbit hole. And
maybe that would be one. Yeah. I'll give your dad credit. It's not off the rails, but I'd like to, I'll officially give your dad some kudos here. Your dad's idea was, leisure. Spotlight. Your dad's idea was to not have all the episodes. Like my idea would be as I'd be at work or I'd be driving down the road and I'd be like, okay, all right. So why don't we talk about packing? And I would call him and I would say, okay, or Zoom. We use Zoom for like pre-show and kind of like think tank. And then we use this service that we use now for recording. And I would call him and I'd be like, okay, listen, I've been thinking. And we could talk about using Ziploc bags and we could talk about, to get your stuff dry and how to pack it and everything. And I'd go on and he'd be like, very, very polite, by the way. And he would go, well, we could do that. But what if you don't care about packing your bike at all? Now we've lost the listener. And I'd go like, okay. And then he'd go, here's what I'm thinking. Why don't we talk about a little about packing and then add in other things? And so I really think some of the best decisions have definitely been made where we both have ideas that come together. I'm not so much off the rails as your question, but like my idea would be like, listen, why don't we talk about the best way to tune up your bike? You know, you take it apart and he goes, and what if you don't care about that? I'm like, man, you're just like bursting my bubble here. So maybe falling off the rails would be my idea of in the original, like some of the ideas of doing the show, but definitely with the listener spotlights back and, bookending the listener spotlights. A lot of people enjoy that. And when I see them, they like to guess on that. So maybe off the rail was the idea of having one subject for the entire show. Took a little bit to get there, but off the rail would be like in the beginning, we would definitely talk about, we went to RAGBRAI and we went to the listeners, we went to the route announcement and we were there was the beer bus and then they had some bands on the stage and then we had this. And then your dad would have the idea of going, what if you don't care about RAGBRAI at all?
So it was about segmenting it, making, multiple segments in one episode versus just one episode dedicated to everything. So, yeah.
Okay. What do you think listeners would be most surprised to learn about you guys?
That Adam wears a debrim to bed every night.
We promised that you would never tell anyone that.
That was one of those things that we said we were never going to. We'll cut this out. Don't worry. I'll cut it out. It'll be fine. I'm not cutting it
out. I'm going to guess that listeners might be surprised to know that at one time in my life, I spent a night in jail. We'll leave it at that.
Wow. Not surprised. I don't know what listeners might be surprised to know about us. I think the big thing would be is that we've been friends for a long time, but we haven't been like lifelong friends. And I think that might... listeners who don't know us that well might think, man, these guys have just been friends for like ever. But we haven't. We've been friends for, I think, a little over 10 years now.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of times people would assume that, we've been friends for 20 years or 25 years and we haven't been, like lifelong friends, like from high school and things like that. So I think that's one. It's the only one I can really think of that kind of just popped in.
Okay. What moment made you realize that the podcast was becoming something bigger than just two friends talking?
Alex Bell. When we would get, for me, it would definitely be Alex Bell. Getting emails from him, getting... this was even after the first brag where he would write us and he would take pictures from his porch and, it would be a regular contributor to the show from one aspect or the other. I think that's where I would say my cousin Mark, who was always texting me as soon as the episode came out and then would conversate with me about things in the episode. Knowing and based upon knowing that I just recorded it a few days before or sometimes a week before and knowing every word that we said in the show, that guy and at the route announcement party who came up to you and you had your Cycling Men of Leisure sweatshirt on since it was like cold and the furnace couldn't even keep up in our hotel room. But he said, do you know him? Do you know the Cycling Men of Leisure? And we're like, we actually are at the Cycling. So I think for me, it was those interactions with individuals. Armando would be another one who constantly, watches on YouTube or reads, or pipes into the show. For me, it's those regular people that are communicating and listening and then meeting back up with those people. I think that's when I realized, for me, I don't know, that's just my opinion.
I think there's a couple of things, when people send us in pictures of them wearing our,
swag,
our swag, whether it be a jersey or a T-shirt or a hat or something like that. I mean, that's like, wow, that's kind of cool that people are like back home cycling, wearing our stuff. And I think the other part that really hits home for me, that this was more than just, Adam and I sitting around chit-chatting about whatever, is when people actually started financially supporting the show. I was really floored because we never got into this to make money. We never got into this to solicit money and all that kind of thing, because that wasn't a priority. We're not into this to monetize it. But when people wanted to start giving us a little bit of money to support us doing the show and us doing the swag bags for the teams and things like that, I think that's when it really hit home that it's like some people are seeing this more than just Adam and I. I mean, they want to be part of it. They want to financially support it. They want to participate in the listener spotlights. They want to wear the swag. Even when they're not on a ride where we're there, when they're back home doing a weekend ride or something, like Adam. So I think that's when it really kind of hit home that this is something a little bit more. And then the community aspect of it. Like I said earlier, we never got into this to build a community. But a community has grown out of it. And, That I don't think is something you could really have planned for. I don't think that's something you could have developed saying, you know what, we're going to build a community. That just naturally grew out of what we were doing. And I think that's a really, really cool thing that was not intended, that's happened, that really makes us more than just Adam and Michael sitting around talking into the can, as they say in the movies.
For sure. And I tried to set you up with my jail comment because we've been to lots. I don't know what it is about Iowa, but they have lots of jails in RAGBRAI. And in Georgia, we went to a jails, but I figured I would make sure to bring that back around. So.
I wasn't even going to touch. There was so many ways I could have went with that. And I just decided, nope, not going to do it.
Well, one of my favorite jokes, Maya, when we're on the road is when you're in a dry sense of humor and people are listening to you, and you can tell that someone's listening to you because I'm a people watcher, and your dad and I could just have a random conversation like the bucket hat guy or whatever that we met along the way. There's what went off the rails there. but someone's listening, and then I always like to say to your dad, well, that time you did in prison, and then people like raise their eyebrows like, whoa. So
and then I'll generally say, well, which time? Or I'll say, well, I got out of those charges, so they don't really count. Or
That's right.
Yeah.
That's how we met.
Yeah, we met in prison.
We met in prison.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay, the final question.
Ooh, like the final countdown. Ready.
Will you ever have another episode around confetti?
Oh. I'd say yes.
Or as they say, south of the border.
Did you? We could have an episode right now. Did you ever tell your daughter you lost confetti?
Yes. I did tell her that.
Did you tell your daughter you had to pedal back 20 miles to go get them?
It wasn't 20 miles, but let me tell you, I had to pedal back up a hill, and that was the fastest hill I did all week. I was like, oh God, must have fell out up there. And I was just like cranking back up that hill. Yeah. I've given full disclosure of everything that's happened, but,
and you told her that you lost confetti and you had to go to eBay and buy a new confetti?
I think it's funny that he thought he could have gotten away with that.
She would have smelled that one coming and routed me out. But no, we should do something else with confetti. We should, I
already have the title.
What's that?
The Confetti Experience, Part 2. Yeah.
The Confetti Experience squared.
Oh, I like that. Yes.
We could do a segment about like all the places and the things that Confetti's got his picture taken with.
Like the unhealthy.
There's been some interesting ones.
Well, there have been like barrels of tanks.
barrels of tanks, because all these city parks have that. He got his picture taken on the wing of an airplane once, not while it was flying, but
hang on.
Numerous mailboxes that have weird things on it. There was a place in Iowa, or I think was it Georgia? Remember that one place that had all those weird yard creatures that the guy had made out of like propane tanks? I think it was Iowa.
Lots of lawn front, like lawn decorations. Lots of like mini bicycles. You know, people have those mini bicycles that are flower pots. I mean, lots of those.
He rode the donkey, the little ceramic, or not ceramic, but concrete donkey that's got the planters on the saddlebags in somebody's yard.
Yoga.
There's been a lot. We should do like the top 10 places that Confetti has gotten his picture taken.
I think, Maya, the answer is maybe sooner than later.
Yeah. Absolutely. We don't want to leave Confetti, who, if you're watching, is right here on my shelf, ready to go. So,
Maya, will you stick around for the rest of the show? We're almost done here. I've just got a few things. Your dad is a big Tour de France, and I've got a couple stories for him that I've done some research. I used AI. Remember, truthfulness and honesty.
That's right. Okay.
Do you have a few minutes to stick around?
Yeah.
Excellent. Perfect. All right. Well, thank you for the questions. I think you did a much better job than we were going to do. I do have my notes here, but I will save those for another day. But except nowadays with YouTube, someone just probably paused like, "Where's my notes right there?" 250 or 100. Let's get to that first. And are you curious what that meant?
Well, the 100, I'm going to assume, is the 100th anniversary.
Yes, sir.
The 250 is
America's.
Absolutely. I thought in honor of America's 250th, we would jump on the bandwagon. And I can't wait. I've been working on a special graphic for social media for right around July 4th. So be looking out for that. So I just wanted to, that's why I figured we would start the show with that. But
is it the American flag?
No.
Oh.
No. If you're looking for current cycling stories, I want you to know about the Tour de France ramp up. Thought about you when I saw this. Yeah. The cycling world is focused on the upcoming Tour de France and Pujacar. Am I saying that correct?
No.
Pujacar?
No.
Well, how about tell me how to say it?
I just like hearing you say it and mess it all up.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is my friend.
Continue.
All right. Is making a final preparation for Tour de France, and he is the favorite. And also, let me see here. Primoz Roglic is racing with a Tour de Suisse.
Roglic.
Oh gosh! I mean, how do you know all these names?
Well, because I watch the race, and when the races are 3 weeks long, they say, Teddy Pogacar, not Pogacar, multiple times, and these guys are the guys that are in the lead a lot of times. So
So you like study their names, but
well, you just hear them enough that it's like Pogacar.
Really, what I wanted to tell you about is the big investment in North American cycling. Now, did you know that there is something called the pedal mafia?
I don't believe so.
So Zwift, which you're familiar with, Canyon Bicycles, and Pedal Mafia have announced a U19 development team. Now, I thought you might like this because you told me that after the Lance Armstrong, which is not your favorite, I love to tease you about him being your favorite, but he's not your favorite. Right?
That is correct.
Okay. But now the goal is for America to produce a Tour de France winner in the next decade. So Zwift, Canyon Bicycles, and the Pedal Mafia have come together to develop what they call U19. And I wanted to tell you about it.
That's good because Americans' professional cycling is greatly underdeveloped. I mean, we have a few riders from America who are at that level, but they don't seem to like be able to like win like the tour, that kind of thing. But so that's good. I'm glad to see that people are investing some money and they're really looking at building it up, because we do get kind of put to shame by a lot of other countries. And dang it, we're 250 years old. We should start making a bigger splash at these cycling, especially the Grand Tour cycling events.
In honor of Miya being here and being a lady, Irish rider Laura Gillespie became the first Irish woman to complete all 3 Grand Tours. Is depth and visibility of women's professional cycling. So that's awesome. And I have a wildest story of the week. A junior race in Germany saw a spectator on a mobile scooter accidentally enter the race course, causing a spectacular pileup, and quickly went viral online. No riders suffered serious injuries. So I wanted to know if you had seen that.
Had not seen that, but it happens every year. Not necessarily an electric scooter or something, but every year. The beautiful thing about cycling, professional racing in cycling, is that you literally are like right there. I mean, you are literally a foot and a half, 2 feet away from the athletes. I mean, it's the only sporting event that you can really get that close to. And you're right there, and there's nothing keeping you. It's I guess if you had like courtside seats at the basketball game, you could, I mean, literally, you just jump up and you're on the court.
Speaking of that, I saw they want to give Spike Lee a ring for the Knicks.
Anyway, so that's always the problem. Every year is there's somebody that's like trying to take a selfie and they step out a little too far and they like knock somebody off of a bike, or they're like holding a sign out so that like the camera people can get it, and they hold it right in front of as somebody comes, or streamers or flags, things like that. So it's really cool that you can get that close to the racers, but there's a lot of people that do not take the responsibility of like, okay, I need to stay a little bit away and give these guys some space. And there's been leaders in races taken out because some fan tried to get a selfie or, whatever, and knock somebody off their bike. So not surprised.
I have one final question for you. And what if we bookend this with another listener spotlight?
I think we should.
All right. What cycling story from the last 100 episodes would have sounded completely unbelievable when we started? And that would be my question. The only one I really want to get in for this episode. The others I don't want to steal the thunder from your favorite daughter. Oh, I'm sorry.
Now, what was the question? What cycling event?
What cycling story from the last 100 episodes would have sounded completely unbelievable when we started?
Well, I mean, besides the fact that we've had 100 episodes, as far as a story, so that's like looking at a story that we've talked about that we've did, that when we started this whole thing, it would have been like, there's no way.
All right.
Do you have one right off the bat?
I don't. No, I was thinking.
I think a lot of it, a lot of stories. I think the story that we talked about, here's one. I don't think, and I don't remember what episode this is, and I don't think I would have ever believed this if you had told me when we started this whole thing, is one of the episodes, it was in Georgia, and we talked about it. Some guy passed me while listening to our podcast.
I remember that.
He was like literally listening to it. I was wearing my jersey, and he's like, "Cycling Men of Leisure, I'm listening to the podcast right now," and came flying by me. And I think when we started this whole thing, if you said, you know what, you're going to go on a ride and there's going to be a guy pass you who's listening to your podcast as he rides by you, I would have said that's not even within reason. And in fact, we talked to him later, and he was listening to all of them at that time. just like Ben's listening while he was riding Brag.
Yeah, he showed us. He held up his phone and showed us. We're like, we believe you. We believe you.
So that would have been the most unbelievable because I said that would have never happened. I mean, it just so
that's
my
perfect. That's perfect. We're gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna give you the new clip, so you can have it twice in one episode. Here we go.
You're clipped in and you're dialed in. You ride along with us every spin. Side to side. It's your moment now. Listener spotlight. Take a bow.
Boy, that is getting catchier and catchier.
What do you think?
I like it. I haven't got to hear it yet.
Oh,
that one's good.
This is our first episode we've used it. All right. The listener spotlight hints are as follows. Would you like to read these?
You can.
Okay. It began as a stop for early settlers. One of the early settlers included a presidential relation. The town's name is derived from a transportation stop.
Oh, I love transportation stops.
Yeah. It is surprising that this town did not get the nickname of Mudtown. From the 1930s through the 1960s, travelers might have been confused when they went to fuel up. And this city has an ESPN connection.
Maya, what's the city written down there?
It's a city.
It's a city.
Oh, okay. Well, great.
Well done. Well done. See, she's not going to give it away.
Oh man, I thought by just asking her quick that she'd be like, "Oh, Omaha." So, all right. Well, listen, buddy, I am proud to have been here with you 100 actual episodes.
Yep.
To be fair, we did have a special little thing we threw together for Brag, and of course our software was like, "Hey, you did 100." We're like, "No, we didn't. We just threw something together for Brag." So, it's been an amazing 5 seasons. You and I made the decision to continue. So you're hearing here first. If you're wondering, we have no plans at this time of stopping, and so. We'll see what the next season brings us.
Absolutely. Sounds good.
That being said, not by you because the weather's been horrible, but by me, it's a great day for a bike ride.
Bike ride.
Thank you, Maya, for being here.
Yes,
Thank you so much for having me.